Welcome back to another edition of the OHIO podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Buckeye Boggs, a.k.a. the Podfather. And you are you, and we're thankful you decided to join us this evening for another edition of the OHIO podcast Thursday night call-in show. The number's running on the bottom of the screen as we speak right now. 567-483-1999. We're going to party like it's 1999 here on the OHIO podcast. For all you crazy Buckeye fans out there, and for fans who want to call in who aren't Buckeye fans, who still want to talk to this Buckeye, I'll be happy to take your phone call this evening. Just had a great interview with a Georgia podcaster for the College Huddle. If you don't mind, everybody, smash that like button. Let us know what you think about what we think down in the comment section below. And if this is your first time joining us this evening and you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you watch all the time and you're not subscribed, what are you doing, man? Give me your sub, dude. It's absolutely free, cost you nothing. Ring the bell, get notified every time we go live or we drop new content on the download daily for you folks every single day. That's what we do here at the OHIO podcast. Yep, we're that crazy. We're that insane. We just do it all the time. Chris's video this morning, great video, by the way. Great video by the Wild Man. You all seem to love it based off the comments I was reading in the comment section. So that was a great video. And make sure you go check that out, everybody. Again, phone lines are open, 567-483-1999. Yeah, was that 3 nines? I can't. 3 nines, 1999. I don't know. It's been a long day. Give me a call. Let's talk about it tonight. The phone lines are open, everybody, so make sure you call in. I got an email yesterday from one Caden. Caden gave me an email yesterday at 10:30 at night. I was getting ready to head to bed. It was 10:30 at night. And Caden emails me and inviting me to his live stream at 10:30 last night. Didn't send me a email the day before, said, hey, would you mind coming on? I'm planning on doing a live stream. Hey, I'd love to have you on as a guest. Nope, just out of the blue, get an email, 10:30 from Caden with a link. No, hey, I'm going live, or I'd love to have you on, Boggs. Nothing like that. Just a link. Just a link. That's Caden, folks. That's what he does. So, I don't know. Maybe Caden will show up tonight. Maybe he'll be willing to talk. You know, he likes to go round and round in circles with Chris, but he hasn't talked to me in weeks. It's been a long time since Caden talked to me. I'm hoping he calls in tonight. I am. I have several invitations for people to call in and talk to me. Am I difficult to talk to, people? Anytime someone disagrees with me and I invite them to come and talk to me on the call-in show, they never call in. Am I that hard to talk with? I don't know. We might be getting a special call in tonight from somebody. Oh, and by the way, the first person who calls in tonight who's never called in before, a first-time caller who's an Ohio State fan, let me put that, we'll get this autographed Ryan Miller. So anybody who's never called in before and would like to call in and talk to us tonight, we're looking for a first-time caller, Buckeye fan. You will get automatically sent to you an emailed Ryan Miller. I saw who just dialed my phone. I saw who that was. I wonder if he just realized, shoot, Eric's on the call-in show. He forgot. That's funny. We'll see if he calls in. That's funny. All right, man. Let's go to the phone lines right off the bat tonight, and let's talk to the man himself. Let's go out to David. David, what's up? First caller tonight, buddy. How are you tonight?
Oh man, it's been one of them days, brother.
I feel you, dude. I feel you.
And it's been rough. I see that the scumbaggery state to the north is just being scumbaggery as usual.
Well, would you expect anything less, David? It's what they do.
Yeah. Now they can. Now the rules don't apply to them up there. Rules don't apply to them. They're special. They get to do whatever they want. You know, we're not going to comply. We're not going to do this. Wow, well, gee, I'm surprised. Michigan's not going to comply. Surprised, I'm stunned. You know what? Does anybody see now why Woody Hayes wouldn't even buy a tank of gas in that godforsaken state? The best part of your state is underwater, people. Understand that. It is. It might as well be Canada. It's somewhere like it's a no man's land. It's somewhere between the United States and Canada. Just seriously, it's unbelievable. And the whole talk about kicking schools out of their conferences, that will be such a mess. Because you're going to have states like Scum and Tennessee that will say, no, we're going to protect ourselves. We're not going to play along with everybody else. And we're going to throw sand out of the sandbox, and we're not going to, they don't want to get along. This is a reason why we should hang 100 on them every year. Don't play with them. Don't play their game. You know what? Just annihilate them. Annihilate them. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of that state. I'm sick of their antics. Anyways, let me switch gears. Feinbaum. I caught Wildman's. I don't pay attention to Feinbaum. Bald little scrotum looking head. All right. He's utterly ridiculous. He's not a real analyst. All he is a he's a homer. He's a homer. The point where that dude does not even know to look up. Do you even know what the word objectivity is? He'd have to go look it up. And Feinbaum is ridiculous. It's funny that Julian Sane was the next coming of Bryce Young, and now he's not competent. Winner of the Elite 11, mind you, is not good enough to head up the best offense in the country.
Right.
Okay, Feinbaum. Probably a reason why you were never a coach, and I'm pretty sure you never played in either. I got a freaking 4-year-old grandson that's bigger than that little twit.
So Paul Feinbaum is it's about engagement. It's about sometimes saying the most off the wall things in order to get people talking. The thing about it is, David, here's the thing. What upsets me is there are still media members in Columbus, Ohio, who use their platforms to give him a platform to speak to Ohio State fans, and I don't understand it. I don't get it. There's a couple radio programs in Columbus. They have him on ever so often as a guest, and I could care less what Paul Feinbaum says. I really could. I could care less. He is a page.
I could care less, but this dude gets more airtime. That's what a clown looks like without makeup.
Yeah.
Seriously, Feinbaum is a clown without makeup.
Yeah, he's a shill for ESCCPN. He's unapologetic SEC homer, paid for by ESPN. He will. What's the narrative? Yes, master. I will make sure and spin the narrative that you want me to spin. That's all he is.
And it's funny is like I would love to play Alabama in the national championship game, but they're not going to be there. They'll be lucky to make the playoffs again, because more likely they'll probably end up being 9-3 again, because they're not. They still got lots of talent, but they ain't stacked like they used to be. And the one that made all that work was Nick Saban. Nick Saban willed that team to greatness. That's an undisputable fact that Saban's the best coach in a modern era of college football for sure. We can say that for sure. You can debate, who's the greatest of all time. I don't know. I don't remember a lot of those great coaches back in the day. I remember a little bit of Woody Hayes at the end there. But Alabama is the SEC isn't what it used to be. And Texas ain't going to come in there and do anything. I said the same thing about when Asper Sandu came in there. You know what? They're still going to be an 8-4 to 10-2 team because that's who they are. And guess what? Texas, you're 9-3, 10-2. Maybe every once in a while you're an 11-1 team. That's not who they are traditionally. They've had times of being elite. They should have always been elite. They should have always been an elite program, just like Ohio State should never have much of a drop off ever, but they have. And when Sark leaves or gets fired in a few years because he can't get it done, they'll be right back down to, there with Asper Sandu. And it's not that I hate, Texas. I like Texas. I like the university. But let's be real here. Asper Sandu is a 8-4 team to 10-2. Georgia is going the wrong way right now. Georgia is going to be even worse than what their terrible offense will be just absolutely horrendous this year. And I think, Kirby Smart couldn't develop a quarterback if his life depended on it. Georgia's going to do something? No, they're not. They're going to be a big monkey wrench in a lot of people's seasons, that's for sure. I'm sure they'll probably be one of the top teams in the SEC. But Ole Miss, really, is anybody really worried about Ole Miss? Anybody really worried about Ole Miss? Anybody really worried about Oklahoma? Oklahoma doesn't look that scary. Even if they had a better schedule, they wouldn't be that scary. Even if they had a better schedule, what would they be? 8-4, maybe 9-3. Show me who's scary in the SEC. Nobody's scary. They're just not. That's gone. Saban was carrying the SEC on his back. And Georgia's always going to be probably a 10-2 team, or
Georgia's got a really difficult schedule this year. They're at Tennessee in their third game. Then they play Alabama at home. They go to Auburn. They play Ole Miss at home. They play Florida in Jacksonville, and they play Texas at home. Now they get both Alabama and Texas at home, but they have to play Bama, Texas, and Tennessee and Florida all on that schedule. Georgia goes 9-3. They're probably still in the college playoff because of who they lose to.
That's fair enough. Fair. I could see Georgia getting in. I wouldn't necessarily. I wouldn't be if Alabama got in at 9-3, right? Or yeah. I'd be okay with it. I'm okay with a 3-loss team getting in. If you're getting in from the Big Ten or the SEC, I'm okay with it. Because we know what those programs are.
Yeah.
And
now the team that everybody's talking about, and I don't know why they're talking about them, David, is LSU. Why are people high on LSU? That I don't get.
I'm with you. I don't get that one. You know what? They'll be 8-4 again because Brian Kelly is so overrated. As Brian Kelly isn't all that. He just isn't. He's a great quarterback developer. Who's he developed? Who?
Nobody.
Who's he developed? Just stop. Brian Kelly. His fake accent. You know, I mean, just stop with the Brian Kelly stuff. I mean,
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I would say probably one to keep your eye on this year in the SEC would probably be Asper Sandhu. Could I do like Mike Elko? I think he's trying to do something down there. I think he actually might get that program in a place where they thought it was the whole time, but it hasn't because they're 8-4.
Right. And
if you remember like the early '90s, the '80s, at all, you know, every year it was Texas A&M to the top 5. They're going to be playing by the time before you could even get out of September, that was over with because they'd already lost 2 games.
Right. Yeah.
Some of the stuff for some of these programs that gets put out there is just utterly absurd when they have nothing to hang their hat on. Asper Sandhu hasn't done anything since 1938. Shut up already. Sick of hearing about Asper Sandhu. All right? You and the 12th man, go suck an egg. Don't care. They had to create a bowl game for you in Texas so you'd have some place to play in the postseason. The absolute worst freaking bowl game out of the bowl games is the Cotton Bowl. And I'm still pissed off that we lost the Cotton Bowl.
To Missouri.
Especially the Missouri. Are you kidding me? So
yeah.
But anyways,
well,
that's all I got for tonight, brother.
Well,
I'll let you get some other people on here.
What's interesting, David, and I'll say this and then let you go, man, is there is still some buzz that A&M wants out of the SEC and wants to come to the Big Ten. They still have their feathers ruffled that Texas is now in the same conference as them. So that would be interesting if the Big Ten was able to pull the Aggies into the conference right out the SEC. That would be kind of funny. But I appreciate you, David. Thanks for calling in, my man. And you have a good rest of your evening. OH.
Hi-oh.
We're off and running on a Thursday night, everybody. All right. We have a first-time caller, but before we do that, let's go to Ryan Day's Championship Beard. He has gifted 1 membership. Thank you for that. And it went to When Stars Align. When Stars Align was given that membership. So thank you. I appreciate that. All right. I know this number. This is a very special person. This person has been working with me for 2 weeks on some videos. You all know him as Buck Vader. And since Buck Vader, this is his first time calling in, he's going to be sent the Ryan Miller autograph photo. So I'll be sending this to him. Now, guys, I want to let you all know, Buck Vader speaks through a device. So this will be a little bit delayed here. But it is going to be Buck Vader's first time calling in. Let's go right to him here. This ought to be a lot of fun. Welcome to the OHIO podcast, Buck Vader. You are on with the Podfather.
Hey, Eric, it's Vader. First time caller, long time listener. I always wanted to say that.
Well, congratulations. You said it, my man, and we all heard it. Buck Vader is live on it. First off, congratulations on your videos. They are fantastic. Everybody is loving your videos, Buck Vader. I love them, man. So why don't you talk a little bit about that, making those videos for us on the OHIO podcast? He's typing in his answer. That's why there's a pause here, folks.
Thanks, Eric. It's a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad you enjoy it. Buck Vader. What else? Which one of those players that you've talked about has been your favorite or anything else you want to talk about. I'm all ears. This is your time, Buck Vader. So you type in your answers and you throw them my way, and I will hush up and let you do the talking here, buddy.
Wilder is going to be amazing.
Yes, Wilder. He's big on Wilder. He's mentioned him twice now in his videos. He really likes Wilder. No joke. Let me read some of these comments here for you, Vader. Everybody's pumped up that you've called in. Mika says, "Sweet, go Bucks, love you, Vader." Sean Schrock says, "Vader's videos are fire." The Lunatic Fringe says, "Vader, great videos." TG, she says, Vader does amazing videos." Troy V says totally awesome, Vader. We've got my wife Sarah says, "I'm so jacked. As a speech therapist, my heart is absolutely exploding. I'm thrilled that he has access to do this." Yeah, this is really cool to get to talk to you, Vader. Who is your favorite Buckeye of all time, Vader? Let me know that. Hey chat, let me know who you think Vader's favorite Buckeye is in the chat. Let's see.
Keith Byers. I. Keith Byers.
Keith
I.
Byers. Keith Byers is his all-time favorite Buckeye. That's cool. Do you have a Keith Byers autograph, Vader?
No.
All right, chat. Here we go. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna call Chris if he's not listening. Let's find out if Chris can get us a Keith Byers autograph. And chat, we're gonna send this Ryan Miller to Vader. Let's see if we can't get Vader a autograph of Keith Byers as our way of saying thank you to all he's done for Buckeye Nation. So if you guys want to do some super chats tonight, throw some super chats in the comments. All that money will go to Chris buying Vader a Keith Byers autograph. Does that sound cool to everybody? I think that sounds cool. Let's do that, man. Let's do that tonight. That is not who I thought you were going to say, Vader. That's really cool. All right, I got to ask you this. Where did the Buck Vader name come from? I love it. I think it's one of the coolest names on there. Um, where did you get the name Buck Vader? And while Vader's typing that in, Coconut, I know you've got a good Keith Byers story. I've got one too. I would love to hear yours, Coconut. Go ahead and type that out if you don't mind in the chat. I'd like to share that. I'm guessing Buck Vader's a big Star Wars fan. That's my guess. While he's typing that in, I'm going to look up when Keith Byers played at Ohio State so I get the exact dates. I knew it was the early 80s. 82 to 85. It was 82 to 85s. All right, we've got some super chats rolling in. Vader's typing out his message here.
My first game was the famous Illinois game. I got the name. He was my favorite.
Interesting. Buck Vader, did you guys catch that? My first game was the Illinois game. That was the first game he ever was at, and that was the game when Keith Byers ran out of his shoe. So that's why it's his favorite player. What an interesting way to, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's cool. $10 super chat from Sarah for the autograph. Thank you, babe. $10 from the Podfather's babyface. Oh Lord. Get this man an autograph. Yeah, absolutely. So anybody else would like to throw a super chat in there, the money will go to getting Vader a autograph of Keith Byers. Chris might even have one. He's got a tons of autographs. Um, what a great game that was to be your first game. Buck Vader, if you're not typing out something currently, I have another question for you to answer. Um, but I'm not sure. I asked you how did you get the name Buck Vader, so I'm not sure if you're typing the answer out for that. But um, I'd like to know uh, where you get all your recruiting information. That's a good question. Buck Vader he's another one like Mika. They are all over the recruiting. Here's a $10 super chat from Troy for the Byers autograph. Thank you guys. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I'm going to text or see if I can't text Chris right now to see if he's got a Byers autograph. Another $10 super chat, $9.99 from Dennis for Vader. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. Sage reminding us that Keith Byers should have been the Heisman Trophy winner that year. Flutie won it on one pass exactly. No kidding. This is so cool getting to talk to Buck Vader. And so I believe how he does this is he uses his eyes, and he has a device that follows his eyes that then type out his message, and he has a device that reads what he typed out. So that's how we're communicating right now with him. No, that is not true. Ryan Day's championship beard. Chris will not keep the money and send him an autograph of himself. You still with us, Vader? Typing Chris a message right now, waiting for Vader's next comment here. Auto.
When I was 5, I got a black marker and painted my whole body. I watch Hours video every night.
Wow. He watches hours of video every night. That's awesome. That's dedication, man. Dude, that is dedication. All right, Buck Vader. I got one last question for you, man, before we go on to our next phone calls. This has been really cool, guys. I hope you all are enjoying this as much as me. I got one last question for you. Who do you like better? Do you like the Podfather or do you like the Wild Man better? Which one of us two do you like better? And you won't hurt either one of our feelings, by the way. Dennis says Keith does radio coverage of his high school team in Dayton. Oh man, Chris says he just sold his last Keith Byers one. We'll get another one. Don't worry, folks. We'll get one. Chris has got a lot of contacts. Troy says, I don't know. An angry cat wild man photo could be pretty sweet. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Lunatic Fringe says Vader's a bluegrass Buckeye brother. Ooh, that's a good question, Steely. I don't know the answer to that. Who can answer the question of who caught the pass from Doug Flutie? I won a trivia contest on this answer. Tyler says that takes a lot of time and effort, and I appreciate the hard work he puts in. Vader, love you, buddy. Yeah, dude. That's out. He watches hours of film every night. That's incredible. All right, Vader. Who do you like better, Podfather or the Wild Man? Inquiring minds need to know. Inquiring minds need to know, Vader. Who do you like more?
Podfather.
Hey!
Give a shout out to the therapist who figured the system out.
Awesome. He said the Podfather, and a shout out to the therapist who figured this out. That's cool, dude. All right, we're gonna go to our next caller, Vader. Well, hold on. Guys. This things just got a little interesting here. Somebody just showed up into the show, and I think he's probably going to have something to say about all this stuff here. Wildman's on the show now.
What's up?
We are talking to Buck Vader through a device right now. His favorite player of all time is Keith Byers.
Okay.
The first game he ever went to was the Illinois game when Keith Byers ran out of his shoe.
Yeah.
The chat has given us $40 so far, has raised $40 to get him an autograph of Keith Byers to send to him.
All right, give me a second. Let me see what I can pull up. I'll pull up a few of my vendors here and see if I can
He's
get
got
one here.
See, I told you he's got people, folks. We're gonna make this happen for you tonight, Buck Vader. Now I won't tell you till after it's over what he said there, but at the end, Chris, but this was pretty big deal. Vader, thank you for calling in tonight. Thank you for your therapist who helped you figure this out. It has been a pleasure to get to know you, to get to speak to you tonight, and to get to work with you. If folks, if you have not watched his videos that him and I have made and put together, I think you're all going to find that I know someone who's got one, Chris. I just got a text.
Is it our buddy from Tiffin?
No. A little bit further north, but it's of him in the Eagles. See if you can find one of him as a Buckeye.
Oh, well, that might be one because I sent one to a buddy of ours up north.
Oh, okay. But let's see if we can't find him one as a Buckeye. That would be fantastic. But thank you so much for calling in, Vader. Can you give me an OH or an IO?
Tell Wildman I'll go after Fine Bum with him.
Can you say that one more time? Can you hit that one more time? I didn't catch it, Vader.
Tell Wildman I'll go after Fine Bum with him.
He said, "Tell Wildman I'm going to go."
Fine Bum with me.
Yeah.
Hey, anytime we want to go after Fine Bum, I'm all right with that. Oh, wrinkle ass prune.
Oh, all right, Vader. All right, I'm going to do this, buddy. OH. Let's wait for his IO. Oh, that's freaking hilarious. This is so good. Oh, there it was. IO. OH. Hit it one more time, buddy.
IO.
Oh, man, that was fantastic. Have a good night, Vader. Okay, chat. How
Give me
cool.
one
How
second.
cool was
I've
that,
got it.
everybody? How cool was that? That
This thing.
I bet my wife downstairs, she's a speech pathologist. I bet she is just tickled pink about that. And thank you everybody in the chat for being a good friend. I'm going to say a few things before we go to our next phone call. Joel, you're up next, buddy. I know you've been waiting for 20 minutes. You're up next. The Ohio State fan base has been getting a bad rap lately, and some of it is justified. I know some tough things have happened recently that have caused the fan base to kind of turn in on itself, and that phone call right there is why Chris and I do what we do. If we spent more time being positive and trying to help each other out instead of tearing each other down, imagine how awesome and what we could get done as a fan base. How many things we could do. If I am known as the Ohio State podcaster who, whether I've got passionate takes or not, or whatever, if I'm known as the nicest one of the bunch, then I've done my job. Then I've done what I've wanted to do. So that phone call meant the world to me, and I'm very excited for what just took place. So thank you everybody for your patience and for being positive and loving people like Buck Vader, man. All right, welcome to the OHIO podcast, Joel. How you doing, buddy?
Eric, I'm doing great. I'm doing well. It was great to have Buck Vader on. I myself am also a huge Star Wars fan, and that's actually I have way more Star Wars collectibles than I do Ohio State collectibles. But I thought that was cool, and I saw that pop up on the YouTube feed, the Buck Vader videos. I really loved them.
Yeah. So Buck Vader is I don't know a whole lot about him as a person outside of just the last little bit we've been communicating. The man loves Ohio State. He obviously has some disabilities um, that have caused him to, have some difficulties in his life, but he's not let that stop him from being a massive Ohio State fan. And he and I have worked together. Sean introduced us, and he and I have worked together to get some things, do some things, and I love it, man. I love helping people out like that so that they too can participate in this thing we call Buckeye Nation. I love it, man.
Exactly. I thought that was so awesome that we're able to, just all unite. And, I love what you just said, about spreading positivity. And at the end of the day, what is it really about? Why do we have a fanship? Why do we have, this community? And it is to have the support and to know that we got each other's backs. So, but I got some bad news for you, Eric. I've been having nightmares. I've been waking up in a cold sweat, and the scoreboard says 66-72 after going into double overtime. Ohio State versus Texas. We're on the goal line, and every time we can't get it. We never. Every time the game ends, we lose. Texas wins. I'm already fretting. I already know everyone's saying, "Oh, I don't care. Not scared of Texas. Not scared of LSU. I'm not scared." For some reason, I am scared of everybody. Am I crazy?
No, you're not, Joel. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that it's okay to have this reoccurring nightmare, because that first game, Joel, I don't know how much it truly is going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Um, I have Ohio State going 10-2 this year. And one of the losses that I believe we will suffer will be in week 1. And in the grand scheme of things, now, yeah, see, Chris doesn't agree with me. That's why we do well together, because we pretty much never agree on a lot of things. But um, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter, because it's all about getting to the CFP. And as long as we go 8-1 in the Big Ten, and we beat the team up north, we're in.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is an irrational fear. Like on paper, I look at it on paper and I feel like we are the best roster in the nation. You know, once again, with just the offensive firepower that we have and the potential, and just looking at rankings. But for some reason, I still just have that pit in my stomach. It's terrible. I called my dad the other day. I said, "Dad, it's already started. Every season before all these big games happen, I start getting these nightmares and start getting." And it's almost ridiculous. I'm having a nightmare about college football, but that's just how much I'm into it. Um, but another game I have a little bit of fear about, actually, I wanted to talk about with you guys, is that Washington game in Washington at Husky Stadium, which is how loud that environment is and how like just raucous it is up there. I feel like that game, we all kind of say, oh, it might be a bit of a challenge, but we'll get through it. I feel like that game could be way more difficult than we're expecting with the combo between Damon Williams and whoever that receiver is he's got. I can't remember his name right now. Plus, they have a 20-game win streak at home.
Yeah.
And that's what just makes me nervous is all get out.
They do. They do have a 20-game win streak, and I didn't realize that until I was talking to the Washington guy, and it was curious to me. They're pretty confident, man, that they're going to be able to give us a good game, Joel.
I know. I'm thinking about going to it. I got my buddy from Seattle, and we're talking about going and staying with his parents. He's down here for school, and we're talking about going up there and going to the game together to go support the Buckeyes.
If you do, there are some. There's Dennis. I tell you what, Joel, we need to get you in touch with Dennis. Um, I just put his name up right for you there from the chat. Dennis is in charge of. He's one of the fellows out there who's a part of the alumni club and Buckeye club out there in that area, and they've got a pretty sweet deal that you might be interested in, where they've rented a yacht, and they're going to be able to drive that yacht right up to the stadium. So you should get a hold of Dennis Moore and find out what the cost of that would be. I think you might be interested in that.
That does sound incredible. But yeah, I would love to go to the game. Just have heard so many great things about the venue, and it's pretty close by here in Utah. It's a pretty close game. But I mean, what are your thoughts outside of just it being a tough environment? Are you worried at all with what Washington might actually be able to do talent wise?
Chris, I'm going to let you take this one. I need to go out and come back in.
Yeah.
I think
I
I'm
was saying you're
frozen.
froze. Yeah, you've been frozen for about 2-3 minutes now. So, am I worried about it? No, I think our talent level is far superior. They are a good team. Don't get me wrong. They are a good team. I think this is a team that's probably maybe a 8-5 team after all said and done, and they play their bowl game this year, possibly 9-4. But I just feel like position for position, we're better across the board. So I'm not real concerned about it, even with the trip out to Washington. No, I'm not concerned one bit. There's only 2 games that really concern me this year, because I think, unlike Eric, I think we're going to handle Texas. So for me, I think my 2 biggest games I'm concerned about this year are obviously one of the but I'm still worried about that one. And then the other one for me has got to be Illinois. I'm worried about Illinois. A lot of people think I'm overreacting to Illinois, but I think they're a tough team. Are we still there, caller? Are we still there, chat? Okay. It appears that chat, can you let me know that I am still on? Well, I can see that I'm still on YouTube. Yeah, Tyler, absolutely. For me, my first concern is that team up north. The team up north, even though we should beat them, we really should. And even though it doesn't necessarily matter in the grand scheme of things, as long as we get it, finish in 2, I'm not real concerned about Washington as much as I am getting that over that hump with the team up north, and then Illinois. Illinois is the other one I'm concerned about. So we're gonna give Eric another minute to get back in, and if he does not get back in, I will go ahead and activate the phone lines on my end so that we can continue. Let's see if I can get into the show here. I'm not sure if two of us can get in call-in studio at the same time or not. Just an update as well, guys. Just for those of you who may not have saw my message, we have found the photo that Buck Vader has requested. So that is a great thing there. It's really cool. Well, once I get to see if I can get in here. Nice, Lance. Weiss is hacking us. Let's see if I can go into. Okay, guys, give me a second to get into call-in studio because it looks like we may have lost Eric for the night. Lance, Weiss is hacking us. Okay. Holy moly, guys, what's going on? All right, where's my call-in number here is 818. So guys, this is an adventure. It's always an adventure.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show or meeting number and press pound. Enter your 6-digit PIN number. Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface.
All right, guys, and it looks like we are going to get back on this calling trend here. Let me get our buddy Ray on the line here. Ray, you are next. I do apologize for this, guys. We just got to make sure that we have everything. All right, guys, I was not ready for this, but Ray, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you a minute ago.
Okay, so
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Well, I'll tell you, Ray. I don't know what happened. We lost Boggs. He disappeared.
Yeah,
on me.
I couldn't hear you on the phone anymore for a minute or two.
Yeah,
How you guys doing tonight?
Well, I'm not doing too bad. I don't know what's going on. What's going on with our boy Eric? But yeah, he just disappeared on me, man. He said, "Come on," and
Eric ain't there right now?
he's not in studio. I think maybe he's lost his internet. I don't know how it is.
So you're
now.
taking over?
I'm gonna step in for now. I don't know. Maybe he's getting some rain down there. We had some thunderstorms roll through a little bit ago. Maybe that's what's causing some issue for him. But yeah. So what's on your mind, Ray?
Well, I was going to talk to Eric about. I'm still heartbroken about Kirk Gorin and the troubles he got through. I didn't realize he had that many alcohol problems in the past. So I seen the thing on the news. Do you know if he got bailed out of jail? Yeah.
I'm going to be 100% honest. I do not know 100% sure if he bonded out or not.
They haven't anything on I haven't seen anything on the YouTube the last couple of days.
Yeah. And I don't think you're going to get a lot of updates on YouTube. I think right now, out of respect for the victim's family, you'll probably see most Ohio State podcasts kind of back off of this.
Back off of this.
Hey, there's our buddy.
I think they've lost that Buckeye scoop forever, haven't they?
Eric, it's been
because I went.
Hold on.
Is Eric there now?
I'm here.
Yeah, I took over the call-in studio when you disappeared.
Thank you.
Because we were both in it.
I think the storm knocked me out.
Oh, you ain't got Eric on there, back on?
Eric's back on, Ray. So
I'm on, Ray. Can you hear me, buddy?
Okay, Eric. I got a question for you. You know, I'm pretty upset about what happened over the weekend there, and I like that Buckeye scoop. You know, Eric, you or Chris, I think could be a great host if they ever wanted to keep that Buckeye scoop. Would you guys ever consider that? I like that Nevada guy. I think he has a lot of knowledge in the NCAA investigation with Michigan. Have you guys ever thought about if he doesn't ever come back, Kurt, that maybe you could team up with Nevada or not?
Appreciate the question, Ray. I've never thought about it. I've never been offered. He can't hear me, can he? He can't hear me, Chris.
He can't hear you. Okay. So, Eric, go ahead and dial back into the studio and I'll cut out since this is your show.
Okay.
So, he's going to answer your question in just a second, Ray. He's having problems that you're not able to hear him right now. So
yeah, I know you guys like each other and you guys are real friends, but I was kind of saying there's some way we could keep that Buckeye scoop and maybe get you or Eric to switch.
Are you back on, Eric?
Not yet.
Because my phone just dropped.
Jiminy Christmas. We are having some serious storms out here, everybody, and I think that's what's wreaking havoc on us. I'm getting on right now.
Actually, it's call-in studio dropped.
Is that what happened?
Call-in studio is having issues right now. We still have two callers
online. Thank you for calling Call-in Studio's host and call screen. Enter your 6-digit.
Ray, bear with us.
Host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-in Studio web interface.
All right, Ray, you still there, buddy?
Yeah, I can hear you vaguely. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back now, guys. Ray, we're having some.
Did you hear that question?
I did. Yes, we're having some storms, everybody. That's why we're having some issues right now.
Yeah, I can't hardly hear you guys tonight.
I don't know how else to turn it up. I can't get any louder, Ray. So.
Okay, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I have never been asked that question. I appreciate the question, first off, Ray, but I've never been asked to join another program outside of being a guest. And so I've never had to consider anything like that. I really
Yeah.
love what we have built here at the OHIO podcast from the ground up. We are a
Right.
community of fans, just like yourself, Ray. And I like that. I like what we've done here. I feel like we've got a very positive, good, encouraging community. And so I've never had to really think about that. And so, would I consider it? I mean, probably not, Ray, because I just kind of
Yeah.
like doing what we do here, to be honest with you.
And what do you guys think of that Nevada guy? Do you think he does have knowledge in the NCAA investigation with Michigan or not?
I would assume so, Ray, because I remember Nevada Buck was the first person who said that UCLA and USC was going to join the Big Ten when no one else did. He knew that before anybody else, and I remember that he was the one who was saying that. So I do believe that Nevada Buck does indeed know some people who has insider information. I do believe that.
Hey, for 2 years, it's kind of bugged me though. Why doesn't he ever want to show his face on TV on YouTube?
I don't know. I don't know. You'll have to ask him that question. I don't know.
Yeah, I just wonder. He don't look like the type that would could take over that show if Kirk never does try to come back, which I don't
I
think he
mean,
will.
some people,
But
Ray, like to keep their identity private, and so
yeah,
this is one of the reasons why they have different names on YouTube than what their real name is, or they don't want to show their face or things. Me personally, I am who I am by the grace of God, and so you either like me or you don't. So
right.
and I'm not going to lose sleep over the fact if you don't like me. So I've got a beautiful wife, I got a roof over my head, and I got my name written in the Lamb's Book of Life. What else could a guy want?
Hey, look it. I think you and Eric do a great job. So I just want to God bless you guys, and I'll let you go. Then it's kind of hard to hear, so I'm going to let you go tonight. Let's just pray for the families of that situation. Oh wait,
100%. Io, thank you, Ray. Have a good night. All right. I apologize, everybody. We have some storms rolling here through Central Ohio here. Right before we went off, it started raining like cats and dogs here in Delaware, and then my internet went kapooey, and all things went crazy there. I had to restart my computer completely, so I apologize, guys, for that. But I want to say thank you to everybody. Um, uh, I want to say thank you for everybody for the super chats. Chris, did you make Chris, you made the purchase? Did you tell everybody you already got it purchased?
Yeah, I made a note in the chat, and
Okay.
I can even I can even share the screen and show you what it looks like if you like.
Yeah, do that if you don't mind. Go ahead and
Yeah.
you just go ahead and get the screen share or whatever, or copy it, make it a JPEG, and work on one of the other banners there and show everybody the purchase that you made for Buck Vader. That was so cool, by the way, tonight. I was talking about how awesome that is uh, to to do that. So that's really cool. All right, next caller. Let's dive back in. I got to pull open my call sheet again here, Chris, because I had to shut everything
The
down.
next one's
So
Schrock, I believe.
is it okay? Awesome. Thank you. What's up, Shrockstar?
What's going on, guys?
Well, we're dodging lightning bolts and monsoons here right now, and hoping the internet doesn't die out on me.
Well, don't go outside and stick your golf club in the air like Caddyshack, you know?
Hey man, that's a great movie, by the way. Oh Nelly, I'm hot today. It's a baby Ruth.
No. No, I was trying to tell you that I'm the one that Chris sent his last buyer's autograph to, and I was going to give it to Vader if he wanted it, but it was in an Eagles uniform, but you guys got him one, so.
Yeah, I wanted to get him one in a Buckeye uniform if at all possible. There it is. That's the one we got him right there.
That's sweet.
Yeah, that's cool. So as soon as Chris gets that, I will go and I'll pick it up from Chris, and I will mail that one and the Ryan Miller one I have to Buck Vader. He'll get two of them in the mail from us.
That's awesome. And everybody that donated, thank you for doing that for Vader, because the dude's such a great dude. He deserves it. And I tell you what, guys, some of you might not know this, but he does a lot for me and TG behind the scenes. He does a lot of promoting our podcast. He makes he reaches out to people for us. He helps try to get us guests. He does all kinds of stuff behind the scenes. He's just a great dude and a great guy, and I'm so glad, Eric, that I was able to, you're able to make those videos for him and able to do that. And his videos are just on fire right now, and couldn't be happier for the guy.
Yeah, so we learned something tonight about that, Sean. So in order for a video to be a short, it has to be under 3 minutes long. And the one that he and I just made was 3 minutes and 1 second. So YouTube made it an actual video. So I had to go back in and shave the last like couple seconds to make it a short. So it's both on there as a video and as a short right now. But so I'm happy to help out. We have some other things he would like to do with the videos that I would like to do too, but we use this program that's kind of helping us make it all. He sends me the scripts, I edit them, I put them into the program. He's now sending me the pictures he wants in there. So
Nice.
yep, so he's really doing a lot of work and he's wanting to learn how to do all this stuff. And guys, here's the thing about it. I want you all to understand. I am the king of making excuses in my lifetime. I have made I don't know how many excuses in my life. That man lives in a wheelchair and uses his eyeballs to do all of this.
What
That
an amazing inspiration he is for us, man. I'm telling you, inspiring guy. He's a great friend. I know he's listening right now. I love you, Vader. Thank you for all that you do for us, man. And I'm proud to call you my friend. And I'm glad that you're a part of our team. You're part of the family, and you're part of our show, man.
yeah. Yeah, he's a part of the pod squad whether he wants to be or not now. That's just how
No,
it's going to be.
he reached out to me about that idea, and I just loved it. I thought, man, I'm not that, computer literate, of course. Everybody makes fun of my 1980 internet and everything and my technical skills, but you're a whiz with it, and to put you two together, man, it just produces magic. So thank you for what you do for them, Eric. That's awesome, and just what a great community we have. And Eric, you are by far the nicest podcaster on, and we appreciate you, and that's why me and TG love being part of the team,
Well,
part of your community. So thank
you,
you.
Sean. I appreciate that, man. And I don't want it to just be lip service. I don't want to just say that to say that. Some people have said some pretty mean things to to our show. We get a lot of hate from Michigan fans, a lot of hate. Um, um, some pretty mean things have been said to Chris and I on Facebook. Of course, Chris gets kicked off Facebook about twice a week now, but uh, the thing that I want, my prayer is that people in Buckeye Nation will stop fighting each other. Like this fan base at times can get really toxic and it
Yep.
turns in on itself. And that's very disheartening to me. And I want to be somebody, Sean, who practices what I preach. The last thing I want to be is a hypocrite. I've made a lot of
Oh,
mistakes in my life, man. A lot of mistakes. And no one is perfect. Nobody is.
nope.
And the Bible tells me that I will be judged by the same judgment that I portray on others. And if I can be forgiving and I can be kind to people, that's what I want to be. So If that ruffles people's feathers the wrong way or they think I'm hypocritical, that's on them. But I try to treat everybody exactly the same. That's been my goal through the last 2 years of a lot of stuff that has happened online. I have tried to treat
Sure.
everybody exactly the same and treat them how I would want to be treated. Have I been perfect at it? No, but I've tried my very best.
Well, I'll tell you what, Eric, you guys, you and Chris both, what you guys, your actions match your words, man. They truly do. You guys are awesome. I mean, I wouldn't honestly. We're happy where we're at, and you guys were kind enough to give us a shot, and we appreciate you guys. And you've been nothing but great friends to us, and you've been a mentor, and you've been here to give me advice when you've even had to talk me off the ledge a couple times. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you teaching us on how to be better, not only better podcasters, but better people, man. You're a great example, and we just appreciate you, and just want you to know that.
I appreciate that, Sean, and I appreciate our friendship. And I'm looking forward to doing more things with you, and I'm looking forward to doing some things in person with you. I know you and Chris get to possibly go do something together, and I'm a little jealous, but I'm on vacation, so it is what it is. But the end of July, we're coming up your way. So so we're looking forward to that, man. Bucknut's got a big John Paul Peters, known as Bucknut or the Big Buck
Nut.
or Big Nut.
The Big Nut.
He's got a big event at a local watering hole up there on the lake, and we've been invited to come that Saturday and hang out with Buckeye Nation, do some interviews, talk to some people, make some videos, and we want you to be a part of that, Sean. We'll let you know when that is. It's the last Saturday in July.
Last day in July. Please let me know. I know Chris said something to me about it, and it's not that far away from where I live. So yeah, I'd be happy not only to take part, but just to hang out with you guys and spend the day with you guys. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I got to read this for you, Code. So this is from our buddy Aaron. This is so good.
You could tell he was at the spring tailgate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can vouch. Eric and Chris are some of the realest people. Only got to meet them once, but they sent me home with a bunch of hot dogs for my dogs. It's a true story. We had all these hot dogs with no.
Didn't you eat like 30 of them?
We had all these hot dogs left with no buns. Like we brought a bunch of hot dogs, and we grilled them all, but we ran out of buns. And Aaron goes, "Well, I'll take them." But instead of throwing them away, he walked away from the tailgate back to his car with like a bunch of hot dogs in his hand. Oh my gosh!
Remember,
We need this guy to call in.
how many did you eat, Chris? Didn't you eat like 10
that
of
was
them or
the
something
third.
like that?
Oh no, it was more than that. I had like 20, almost 20 of them. I was so sick that night. Oh my god.
Or are you trying to be like Joey Chestnut or what?
Yeah. There we go.
It was awful.
Chris, there's a guest we need. Let's reach out to Joey Chestnut.
Yeah. Guys, I have a hot dog story for you. When I was in the fourth grade, my mom took me out of school to take me to the old municipal stadium for opening day for the Cleveland Indians, and I ate 4 hot dogs on opening day. The next day at school, I had a stomach ache, and I ended up puking up the hot dogs all over the nurse's room. They sent me down in the nurse's office, and I remember just throwing up hot dogs.
Oh.
That's just nasty.
Hey, one time, Chris and I got called hot dog water.
No. They accused Eric of drinking hot dog water.
You drink hot dog water.
He goes, "You look like someone who drink hot dog water." Oh, out of all the things Michigan people have said to me, that one was actually the funniest.
That's my favorite.
That's
my favorite, yeah.
Well, if you ever watched that Ohio State Michigan documentary that they had on the one guy from Ohio goes, "Have you ever been to Michigan? The whole place smells like hot dog water." That's just hilarious.
No, I do have a funny Michigan smell story for you, Sean. So
All right.
we're going up to the upper part of Michigan for vacation, up to the Sleeping Bear sand dunes and that area. And we took our little
Gotcha.
pop-up camper at the time. Xander was really little, my stepson. He was real little, probably like, I don't know, second grade maybe, around in that age. And he fell asleep on I-75 going through Toledo. He fell asleep, and we
Gotcha.
had the windows down. It was beautiful. It was right before the 4th of July, and it was gorgeous out. It was like 80 degrees. It was perfect. And we had the windows down in the truck, and all of a sudden we get to Michigan, and then the signs are pointing towards Ann Arbor. We're like real close to Ann Arbor. And when you're driving on the freeway by Ann Arbor, there's a water treatment plant right there. And my
Oh.
stepson wakes up and he goes, "What's that awful smell?" And I go, "Breathe it in real deep. That's the smell of Michigan."
So what was worse, that or driving through Chillicothe back in the day?
The paper mill?
Yeah,
Oh, it's still bad.
yeah.
It's still bad. I did a presentation for the district, the ODOT district that was down there, and it's right by the paper mill. It's bad. It's nasty. All right, Sean. Appreciate you calling in, buddy. Have a good night,
Thank
buddy.
you, guys.
OH, man.
IO, go Bucks.
Go Bucks. All righty. Chris, we got 2 more phone calls we need to get to tonight. And if you want to hang around, you're more than welcome to.
Yep. Next one you've got is Coconut Dreams coming up.
Oh, man. All right. We haven't talked to him in a long time. What's up, Coconut?
Hello, Boxy. Hello, Wildman. Hello,
How's it
Chad.
going?
I'm doing great. It's 9:14 a.m. in the morning here, Friday morning in the Philippines, and we're having storms here too.
Oh my goodness. Now, Coconut, you said
Yeah.
you said you had a story about Keith Byers, man.
Yeah. First of all, I wanted to say when Schrock was saying all those nice things about you, Boxy, I started to tear up a little bit. And I grabbed a Dick and Jane primer and wiped the tears away from my eyes. You know, I was a teacher for 25 years.
Were you, buddy?
So, yeah, I was.
Oh,
I taught 2 years in Columbus and then 23 years in Los Angeles.
oh,
17 years of kindergarten and eight years of first grade.
dude, that's awesome, dude. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love it. I love those little kids so much.
Those are my peeps. That
Yeah,
kindergarten
it was
first
great.
graders are my peeps.
But, yeah, you got a hug every day. I'm telling you. Coming and going. You got a hug and a lot of love every day.
That's awesome.
So anyway, when I first got to Ohio State, I actually took 6 years to graduate. I got my first degree, and then I stayed on 2 more years and I got my first degree, a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Ed, and then a BA in Spanish. So the very first fall that I started there, I just went straight to the Woody and pestered and begged and pestered, and I got into the weight room. And so I was working with the strength coach, Stephen A. Bliss. And the year before, in '84, when we came back against Illinois, just an epic comeback, and Tom Zach got off, Keith Byers got off. He had the epic 67-yard run where he threw his shoe. The next week in Sports Illustrated, they had a picture of him on that run, and it was like wallet size. So I cut it out and I put it in my wallet. And the next year in '85, when I got to Ohio State and got in the weight room, everyone was in there. Chris Spearman, William White, John Woldridge, Tom Tupa, you name it. There, Jim Carsados, Keith Byers, of course. So I was in the weight room. Weight room manager technically was my title. And I'd spot people and clean up, wipe the seats down and stuff and stack the weights. And after about a week, I was starting to talk to the players and, kind of buddy around with them and stuff. And they slapping me on the back. And so I couldn't wait to pull that picture out of my wallet. But I was a little shy to go straight up to Keith. So I showed a couple of the other players and they all started laughing and gathered around. They said, "Hey, Keith, come over here." And then Keith came over and he's like, "What do you got? What do you got?" And I showed him the picture and it was in the little plastic sleeve, that you get in your wallet. And he started laughing. And after that, we became like, pretty good pals. We didn't hang out outside of practice and stuff, but at practice, he was always very friendly with me. And he'd say, "Hey, little man. He said, "I'll tell you what," he said, "what you got to do, you're so small." He said, "What you got to do is eat more." And he said, "I'll tell you just what you need to eat." He said, "Peanut butter and jelly sandwich, Lay's potato chips, and Pepsi." And so, he had those big giant hands. And I was like thinking to myself, well, I think that's more of a genetics thing, but I'll give it a shot. But yeah, that was my KB story. And he was actually a really, really super nice guy. Really, really nice guy. And I was happy to be able to hang around him at practice. And the next winter quarter, I technically moved from the weight room to the field. And that's when I became a field manager and got my 5 years in of running around all over Ohio Stadium. And just what an awesome experience.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I may have asked you this before, Coconut, but my best friend is Carl
Yeah.
Hugler. He was a
Who?
Carl
Oh, yeah.
Hugler.
Yes.
He was a student trainer. Maybe right before you got there. That's
Yeah.
I'm thinking. But
If I could see any, yeah, if I could see any of the immediate guys from 85 through 90, I might recognize them.
he graduated in 84.
Okay, so then I missed him by 1 year.
Yeah.
I
But
missed him by 1 year.
he was good friends with Keith Byers.
Okay,
And
yeah,
he used to
that's really cool.
Yeah, he used to have to tape ankles and stuff for the players before games.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
yeah,
he has this
yeah.
great story. He goes, Keith Byers used to come into the training room and he'd sit down, he'd go,
Mhm.
"Hey Carl, come over here." And Carl would go over there with his
Mhm.
tape and he would flex and then he'd go, "Tape my guns, Carl." And he'd put his wrists out and he'd tape his wrists.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that was his
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Tape my guns.
He had some massive hands, that's for sure. Not only big, like big across, but like super meaty. He had these gigantic meat hooks, and but he was a super friendly guy. And I actually, speaking of '84, I think that was Mike Tomczak's last year. He used to come back to practice for maybe 2 years or so after that, and I see him at practice a lot. And I became friends with them, and he would always single me out before practice and throw me passes like deep routes and 40, 50 yards on the fly, dropping dimes right on the fingertips. And it was really cool. And speaking of trainers, I took Billy Hill's the treatment and prevention of athletic injuries class as one of my phys ed classes. So I got to learn how to wrap ankles and all the ligaments and joints, and it was really cool. Aside from being the head manager at Ohio State and basically the head football manager, Billy Hill was also a trainer at I think the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles. So it was really, really cool connection.
Yeah.
From Memphis, Tennessee, Billy Hill.
I'm pretty sure Carl's knew him too and talked about him. Wasn't he the head trainer for like a long time, wasn't he?
Yeah, a really long time.
Yeah.
They called him Homie. That was his nickname. They called him Homie because he called everyone else Homie. And yeah, he died I think around 90 something. But yeah, he was legendary trainer and had been in the program for a long, long time. I know he has pictures dating back to like the 70s and the media guides and stuff with Coach Hayes. So another awesome Buckeye. I mean, just a million great people, a million great experiences.
Yeah, it is. It's
That's the Ohio State connection. Like you
yep.
always say, OH someone's IO with all your heart, and I always reply with I'll affirm thy friendship.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah. Do
Yes,
you ever
sir.
run into any Ohio State people in the Philippines?
Um, I'll tell you something kind of funny. It makes me a little ticked off that every time I either see an Ohio State shirt or anything versus a scum shirt, I kind of keep a running tally. And I've seen more scum people wearing jerseys and shirts here than Ohio State. But yes, I have seen probably in my 3 years here now, I've probably seen at least 10. And I actually ran up to a girl in the grocery store about 2 months ago, and I'm sure she had no idea what the shirt was really about. And I said, "Hey," I said, "Excuse me, but you're wearing an Ohio State shirt." I go, "That's my university." And I go, "Can I take your picture, please?" And she was at first shocked, but then sort of like honored. And she put on a real big smile, and I got her picture, and I'll have to send it to you. Yeah, I caught her in the grocery store.
That's
A little
awesome.
girl here in the Philippines, probably like 25, 30 years old. I don't know, but wearing a Buckeye shirt.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Man, I'm so
Yeah,
glad you called in, Coconut. It's been a long time since we got to talk, and good. And you know what? For calling from the Philippines during two storms, really good reception.
yeah, yeah. I'm using Magic Jack
Okay.
phone app. Yeah, if anyone wants to know. Yeah, this is technically June through about December is the rainy season here, and it's when all the typhoons roll in. So you might get rain or you might get a typhoon and high winds and rain. And man, some of the thunder I heard yesterday was unbelievable, cracking. I'm like, whoa. But I know you guys in Ohio are going through it. So batten down the hatches and thanks for putting on a good show. Love you, Bogsy, Wild Man. I appreciated your Fine Bomb show and from one teacher to another. Hello, my friend. And to all of my pals in the chat, Steely, Shrock, Tyler, everybody. Love you guys. Lee, appreciate you too. And I, you know, I just want to say one more thing. When I went to Ohio State, I had loved Ohio State football since I was a little kid. But when I got to Ohio State, I'll say this: being a football manager was one of the greatest honors of my life. But just the university itself, being part of that, it wasn't just football. I mean, that university, every building, the oval, the students, it just lives in my heart, and it really grows into your soul like that. And it's just Ohio State University. There's no greater university in the whole wide world. Of course, football is a big part of it, but that university is just, man, you can't even hardly put it into words.
Yeah. No, I get goosebumps every time I go on campus, man. Every time. Never
Yeah,
fails.
yeah,
I appreciate you calling in, Coconut, man, and be safe over there in the Philippines. And when you get the chance, call back in again, man. I really enjoy talking to you.
I will.
All right.
Love you guys,
Love you
man.
too, man.
Oi,
IO.
Oh,
right on. All right, take care.
Awesome. Good to have Coconut with us, man. Listen, even the Notre Dame guys feeling the vibes from Coconut. Hey, Notre Dame's wine and cheese. Good to see you tonight, buddy. He goes, I can vibe with this caller. You know what? I think Coconut has been to Kennedy's show multiple times and hung
yeah.
out in the chat. So you might have recognized his handle there before buddy. But he has hung out in Kennedy's show. A lot of the folks who were in the chat here. When I brought Kennedy on the show, ended up going over there, especially when it was Notre Dame, Ohio State for the national championship, and then the previous year, and so that's how everybody got to meet Chris and why they hate him so much.
And I'm okay with that. I've embraced it. It's
The
who I
thing
am.
about it is Chris is like the nicest human being on the planet, man. Like one of the nicest guys I know. And for some reason, all the Notre Dame people they don't believe me. They think you're a total jerk.
I just
Kennedy's like, what kind of character was he playing that night? I laughed. I'm like, Kennedy knows exactly what was going on.
I
Dude.
was not playing a character.
You totally were playing the heel, man.
I despise Marcus Freeman that much.
Look,
I still do right now.
Now Anthony's here.
Not stand that piece of trash.
Oh, he's not trash, dude. He's a good dude. He says one thing that you don't like, and you're just like, I'm never gonna like him again. He's got to apologize to me. Like he said it to you. Like he said it to you.
To the university. He does not have to apologize to me. He has to apologize to the university and their fans. Otherwise, he can go straight to hell, Eric. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What an idea by Alex. We need a national show. Eric, Chris, and John Kennedy. Okay.
I'm not sure people are ready for that.
No, but okay. So John Kennedy has a very popular comedian who calls into his show, who's a Notre Dame fan.
He doesn't like me either, probably.
No, probably wouldn't. Shane Gillis. You know who Shane Gillis is?
I've heard of him.
Yeah. Okay. Shane Gillis. I'm thinking Shane Gillis and John Kennedy, Eric Boggs, and Tony Hinchcliffe. He's a Buckeye.
You're not going to let me get on there with Kennedy again? You're trying to preserve the friendship?
I don't know that I should.
I love Kennedy. I think Kennedy's a great guy.
I know you do.
I just cannot stand Marcus Freeman. I told you, as long as he doesn't bring up the MF word, I'm fine.
I know, Anthony. I know. I'm thinking if there was any way that we could make that happen, Shane Gillis, Tony Hinchcliffe, Eric Boggs, and John Kennedy, that would be ratings gold. That would be ratings gold. It would not be family friendly. I know that much. It would not be family friendly. All right, let's see. We got one more phone call we need to get to. Have you looked up?
It's going to be fire. Sure is.
Oh yeah, batten down the hatches, everybody.
But before you bring her on.
Oh, she's on. It's too late. What's up, TG?
Yo, what up?
How are you, girl?
Oh, I'm great. And Chris, awesome video on Palm Feinbaum.
Thank you. I appreciate that. He's he ranks right up there with Marcus Freeman on my list of favorite people.
I would think he's worse because at least Freeman actually knows what the F he's talking about.
We're not even going to mention the MF word tonight.
I swear you hate him. Why?
Because he ran his mouth. He trashed his alma mater.
So TG, are you with me on this one? Like Marcus Freeman's a good dude. Like he said one stupid thing as a young head coach trying to appease his fan base, and Chris won't let it go.
You have to understand, I would rip Marcus Freeman for that myself, but I will say this. I understand why, because you're trying to, because whether we all admit it or not, Ohio State and Notre Dame are rivals, so it makes sense as to why he would try to appease his fan base. But dude, don't talk mess about your alma mater. Don't do it. Because you know how Buckeye fans are going to be, man. Just, like, you can appease the Notre Dame faithful without trashing your alma mater. I will say that now. But I'm not going to be super angry about it. It's just that He's got to quit saying dumb. You just can't say dumb stuff. That's all I would say. I'm not going to be overly angry with him about it. But like I said, when it comes to fine bum some of these SEC fan bases, and don't even get me started with scum. I'd rather put up with Marcus Freeman than the dumb stuff he would say compared to these idiots. At least I understand why he says it, and I get it. Would I prefer he not do that? Yes, but I understand why. Whereas for these morons, they just talk out of their butt. That's all they do with no logic behind it. Well, some SEC fans like Kangaroo Black and Uncle Lou have some common sense. The rest, I we're gonna have to see.
It's amazing to me, TG, how much these national guys get away with their narrative pushing, and it's both ways. You look at the Fox guys; they're definitely pushing narratives for the Big Ten. And then your ABC, ESPN guys are definitely pushing narratives for the SEC. The NBC guys are pushing narratives for Notre Dame. It's loyalties. It's who's paying your paycheck at the end of the day. And
with NBC, they have a lot of loyalty to Ohio State just as much as they do Notre Dame, if not more, because Ohio State brings them bigger bucks than even Notre Dame does.
But I don't know that
you need to know.
I don't know that you can say that yet because that contract's so new. And gosh darn it, how many times has NBC gotten Ohio State? Twice a year at most. Once on Peacock for a game that no one cares about.
Yeah, that's what's funny though, is when you think about it, Ohio State's games be breaking records on there, which is why I know for a fact they love it, because it's like, hey, anytime for them, and I said this because why do you think the Big Ten has the contract they have with NBC, they have it with CBS? It's all because of Ohio State. Because again, if NBC gets a chance to get Ohio State, what you think they're going to say no? Like, you're talking about the biggest ratings draws that bring box office record-breaking numbers, especially with the big-time games they play. I know for a fact they wish they had the Ohio State-Texas game.
Oh, yeah.
That game.
Of course. No kidding.
I wish they would, too.
They wish they have Ohio State on their network all the time because of how big of a brand Ohio State is. Because, come on, like, Eric, let's be honest. Ohio State's the biggest brand in all of college football, the most recognizable. The only one that hasn't had a down period as of yet. Will it happen at some point? Probably, but it's like, has it happened anytime soon? And we're all going to enjoy this. Buckeye fans, but like I said, I know for media people, you're definitely going to enjoy it, making as much money off this program as you possibly can. Doesn't matter how many times they appear on your network. You know they're going to bring you big ratings. You know they're going to bring you big time money every time they do. Because go back to last year, 24. A lot of our games were in the top 50. And 8 of our games were in the top 20. And we're the only team with that many games in the top 20. And then last year, also, we had, 4 games in the top 4 with 3 being in the top 3. Like, imagine that. For Ohio State to be bringing those kind of numbers and their games on record-breaking, like, man, trust me, networks are going to love. So trust me, NBC loves Ohio State, I would think, more than Notre Dame. I get it. They got a contract with Notre Dame just because they get this brand on their own. But you really telling me they wouldn't take Ohio State if Ohio State became available?
Oh, yeah, they would. I know for a fact they would.
Exactly.
100%.
Enjoy it. Get the big brand that gives you the biggest bucks.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question, TG. Who are the 5 biggest brands in college football, in your opinion?
As of right now, the 5 biggest brands. Obviously, Ohio State's number 1. If I had to say who's number 2, Georgia. 3 is Bama still. I get they're kind of had a downturn, but they're still one of the biggest brands of college football today. Like, until they fall fully off the face of the earth, they're not out of it yet. I would say 4. This is where I would say there's a lot of space in between there. I would say 4. I gotta say maybe LSU, but I'm not even confident in that one. And the only reason I would say LSU is because of their wide receivers, the talent, and the multiple national championships they've won. They've won 3. So that would be my biggest reason. And then 5, I would have to say Oregon just because of Nike. That's it. Those are only 5, and it's a very big like drop off because once you get past Bama, Georgia, and Ohio State, it's a big drop off from there.
What about Texas?
I would say Texas would have been my
Like Texas would have been in the top 5, but they got to keep winning for me because it's like, yes, you won, you've been in the playoffs, 23, 24, you got to keep it going because they weren't doing much. Like their brand really wasn't well known until these past 2 years. So like, if Steve Sarkisian can keep it going, I could take Oregon out of the top 5 and put in Texas fully, just because it's like, okay, you're continuously winning and making your brand bigger. Because guess what? Networks do not like brands like Texas that are irrelevant, that aren't winning. They want brands that can win on a consistent basis. Because Alabama's done it for so long, that's why they're still there. I think they will continue to win with Kellen DeBoer, even if they're not the faction they once was. I do think they're on the decline, but they're still going to win 10, 11 games. So, hey, you can put up with that at least. So, no, until Texas can win consistently, they're not in the top 5 until they win consistently.
I think we just hit on a video we need to do, Chris. The way the chat is responding to this, I think what we need to do, Chris, is we need to do an algorithm. We need to create an algorithm and find out what the 5 biggest brands are based on that algorithm. What do you think?
We could do that, but I already laid it out for you in the chat. So.
Oh, did you? Did you put it up?
Yeah, I know some of you I could see are mentioning Scum, but you have to remember the only reason they're this big brand, and I'm never giving them credit for this, are their scandals. That's it. That's it. Outside of their scandals, they really aren't relevant. I'm just being real when I say it. I could see some of y'all kind of mentioning them. Just be real. Their scandals is what make them relevant. Their scandals is why people talk about them. If it wasn't for those scandals, they would pretty much just be where they've always been. You only talk about them when Ohio State's coming up around the corner. Or if they actually schedule a big-time game like they did with Oklahoma, like they did with Texas last year, and like they're doing with Oklahoma this year. That's the only time you ever will talk about them, is if they have a big game with some type of program that they never really face, or Ohio State. That's the only time you really talk about them at all.
I feel like I feel like we are keeping them relevant.
Yes.
We talk about them more than anybody else does.
Year.
I know you've I mean, but like online, we're keeping them relevant online, like the Ohio State fan base and podcasters.
Yeah, well, the reason we do is because we need to see the NCAA punish them. And until that happens, you're going to see Buckeye podcasters, Buckeye fans talk about it until the day it finally happens. Just because we all want justice for the BS they pulled over these past 3 years. So no, until that happens, I think Buckeye fans are going to keep talking about it, no matter how much. Yeah, that's the only reason why they're relevant. It's just because until that day happens, we're going to keep talking about it.
But TG, what if it doesn't happen?
Then you're going to see a bunch of Ohio State podcasters do a bunch of videos about how pissed off they are. That's what you're going to see.
Yeah,
that'll be when there's no controlling, Eric. I may break things, set things on fire in the video. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna be just Buckeye fans either. It's gonna be fan bases across the nation, because everybody would be so freaking angry if the NCAA did not make a move on this. Because trust me, it's not just Ohio State; it's all fan bases. Everybody would be so ticked. It's just that us Ohio State fans, we kept it in light, because if we never did, this would have got buried in the dark.
See, Notre Dame's wine and cheese. That comment is exactly how I have felt from the beginning. They should. I just don't know that they have the backbone to do it. And TG and Chris have caused me to at least say there's going to be some kind of punishment. I was like, they ain't gonna do nothing, and TG and Chris have convinced me there's going to be some form of punishment. I just don't know how severe it's going to be.
It's going to be rough.
I think it's going to be, Eric, I've said it before, I think it's going to be severe because they want to be the enforcers of the rule. I've actually seen this reading over the NCAA, like reading over the House sentiment versus the NCAA, like they want to be the enforcers of the rules. They don't want to like just they don't want to have control anymore. They just want to be the enforcers because they know that's where it's going at this point. But if they want to be the enforcers, it all depends on how they punish Michigan. Power 4 coaches have said it. They're all paying attention to this. Same with their ADs, same with their presidents and their school boards. Same with they've also said this when it came to the conference commissioners and how everybody in the Power 4 and even the G5 is paying attention to this as well. So when you have everybody and their mother paying attention to this, and the NCAA knows that they can't screw this up. They just can't. They know they can't. The one thing you're all worried about is just the judges because we're not in the judge room. All right. Like we've seen it like with I'm going to say a certain black man like O.J. Simpson. I'm sorry to say his name. Is we all knew he was guilty for a crime he committed, which I'm not even going to go over the story, but the jury still found him innocent. So you know how that goes. So with juries, you just never know.
Hey Chris, you want to
feeling
feel
that
really
the jury
old?
Will punish them. I have a feeling they will.
You want to feel really old, Chris?
Okay.
How old were you, TG, when OJ got in trouble?
I do not remember.
She wasn't even born yet, bro.
I was about to say, I do not remember. I know about the story. Like, I've seen stuff.
I remember watching the video.
And I'm like, I do not remember when he got punished. I don't remember none of it. I just remember it. I remember seeing trial cases and stuff like that, but that's because they showed us it in school and stuff. So it's like, I can never remember what I
was 23.
I was a teenager because I remember coming home from I think it was basketball or baseball practice, and we watched the Bronco chase live on TV.
TG, what year were you born in?
2002. What year was that trial in again?
1995.
Yeah, she was -7, bro.
Yeah, so like, no, I wasn't even born. But like I said, I just remember seeing again, but that's only because I'm out school, middle school, definitely seeing it early freshman year. You know, it's funny is it's like I'm like it's kind of funny that they deem this man innocent, but it's like even all of us could tell you no, he's not, and none of us were there.
Dude, when you and Sean were interviewing Robert Smith. Did you all catch that he got his nickname Juice because he ran like O.J. Smith? I did not know that.
O.J. Simpson?
Yeah. I heard him say that, and I said, oh, wow.
O.J. Smith?
Because I was wondering where I was like, is it because you were running with some legit ferociousness or something like that?
I remember if you really want to see something really cool, there's a video of when OJ was with USC and Ohio State played USC in the Rose Bowl, and they beat OJ Simpson and USC in the Rose Bowl. Was that 60? That wasn't 68, was it?
No, I don't believe so. I think that was the
Woody was coach.
So.
The 69. Yeah, it was after
60,
the 68 season.
Yeah, it was the 68 season. Yeah, because it was the Super Softs that beat them. The Super Softs went into the Rose Bowl and beat O.J. Simpson and USC for the national championship. O.J. scored the opening touchdown, and then after that, he had only like 60 yards rushing the rest of the game. They shut him down. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Wow.
You can go watch it. It's crazy. It's fantastic
I've
game.
seen the game. I've gone back and watched it a lot, but I always tend to forget what year it was. I'm always thinking in the 60s, like somewhere 67, 69, somewhere is where I'm always thinking.
I wouldn't say they shut him down.
Yeah, they did.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned that O.J. Simpson scored like the first play, because then you brought me right back to the six with the kickoff return for a touchdown.
According to the stat sheet, it's 171 yards, 85 passing, and 80 rushing.
We held Dennis says we held OJ to 88 yards.
That's on the ground.
Yeah,
yards receiving.
On the ground. I don't care about his receiving yards, dude. Who cares about that? Guys, most of that was because they were throwing the ball all the time because they fell behind. We shut them out.
That is true. I mean, when it came to his running game, he wasn't very he started off like Eric said with that touchdown, but then after that, it's like
Listen.
You know, he wasn't
And it
really
was an
doing much.
80-yard run.
Yeah.
His touchdown was an 80-yard run.
Ohio State did what the prosecution in Los Angeles could not. Okay? That's a bad court joke. That's a bad court joke. Did you see the one that Troy put?
Yes.
Did you see this? This is that's terrible.
I was just, oh boy. But that's what made it funny is the fact it was just terrible.
Wow.
Oh, all right, guys. I got to end the show. I've got a Illinois interview I need to do for our previews. So it's going to be a late night for me, but I have tomorrow off of work anyways because I have a funeral for my great aunt. So tomorrow. So need to go take care of that. But TG, appreciate you calling in. It was fantastic talking to you. You guys got some stuff coming up here next couple days, don't you?
Yep. We got some fun little interviews that'll be coming up soon.
Cool. So be on the lookout for that. We got some great interviews, got some great previews. I'll talk about those in just a minute. But yep, make sure you all check out the Buckeye Lounge with TG and Sean. They are just absolutely killing it. They had Garyon Conley on Tuesday. Wonderful interview. We're going to be reposting that as a video as well. We're going to edit it and make sure it looks good and everything for all of you. So be on the lookout for that one too.
Eric, the one thing I got to say is, what was your facial reaction when you heard Gary Conley kind of let the words out of his mouth? I just got to know.
It was like this. But I will say this, TG, it was so funny listening to you try to tell him he couldn't say that.
Especially after that video that we had recorded earlier that day.
No one knows about that, Chris. No one.
That one will never see the light of day.
No one needs to know.
No one will know about that, but yeah, I get it. And trust me, everybody in the chat, it was y'all were all funny in the chat when I said that too. I was like,
one day,
she's the one telling him that.
One day when TG's on some kind of major sports news network, I'm going to send her a message and be like, you remember that one time, TG? Oh, shoot. Thanks for calling in, girl. Have a good night, OH.
Ayo, the Bucks.
All right, guys. Chris, thanks for hopping on and helping me, man. This was a crazy night, dude. It was a fun night, but
basically make sure that you didn't go anywhere again.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you came in because the show would have ended. Yeah. I'm sure because of that. But I'm glad that happened. It worked out for the best, man. Thanks everybody tonight for the super chats. Again, let me roll these out. Ryan Day's Beer gifted a membership to When Stars Align. We had a $10 super chat from the beautiful, most prettiest woman in the chat. I can say that because I sleep with her. The Podfather's Babyface gave us $10. Shut up, Chris. Troy gave us $10 as well. Dennis with a $9.99 super chat. All of that went to getting the autograph. So Chris, I'll be Venmoing you this right over to you, man. Okay. And then we'll be thankfully being able to get that to Buck Vader when it comes in, and then we'll send that with Ryan's autograph. So he'll be getting 2 autographs since he was the first time caller tonight. What a fantastic moment that was. That was cool. In fact, Chris, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to edit that up. I think I might make that to a video too. Bobby Mack with $2. What game should I do a tailgate this year? Well, the most tailgating is going to probably be Penn State. That's the big tailgate game. Is going to be Penn State.
Texas would be a good one.
Texas will be a big one too. Yeah. And Bobby Mack, if you want to go to a good tailgate, Ryan Wickerham's tailgate is the one to go to, and he would invite you, dude. So you don't have to worry about that. So that would be the game you want to that's the tailgate you want to get to. It's really awesome tailgate. It's my favorite one. Troy gave us a $2 super chat, and this is for Chris to rent Frozen to learn how to let it go. Let it go.
Not going to happen.
Let it go.
The one way it happens, and that's if he comes out and apologizes for being ignorant to his alma mater.
Let it go.
Never
Let it
gonna
go. Can't hold it back anymore.
He ranks right up there, in my opinion, in no specific order. The three people I despise most in football are Jim Harbaugh, Paul Feinbaum, and Marcus Freeman. That's the kind of elite company Freeman is keeping right now, in my opinion. Okay, have we lost Eric again? I'm going to assume that we may have lost Eric yet again, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and say thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
I'm back. Can you hear me? Jiminy Christmas. This is crazy.
It's because somebody brought up the MF word again. The MF word.
Oh, well. Real quick, Andre Green. I sing Frozen and now I'm frozen. I see that, Bobby Mack. Podfather, are you planning on going to any Ohio State games this year? Yes. I'm thinking about going to Illinois. I might
traveling over?
Yeah, I might go to the Illinois game. I might see if we can get credentials.
A few years ago, we actually had a good time traveling over to Purdue.
I know. Yeah.
Which I wouldn't mind even making that trip again.
But
I'd prefer to go to the Illinois game.
Yeah. We've been invited. We've been invited by our Illinois friends that go to that game with them. They're gonna have a big tailgate there and do a live podcast with them from outside the stadium. So, Illinois possibly home games. I'm going to the Texas game, so I will be at the Texas game with Carl. Dennis, I don't think we're gonna come to the Washington game, buddy. It's not in the cards for me, unfortunately.
I told Dennis the other day, unfortunately, when you work in public education, you just don't make that kind of scratch to be able to make that trip.
Yeah,
not on short notice.
I want to. Trust me, I want to. I want to do that so bad, but I didn't sell enough. I didn't sell enough government work this year, unfortunately, to do that. Yeah, I wanted to. I'm sorry, Dennis. I just don't think that's going to happen this year.
Take a whole lot of super chats to get us there.
Yeah, it would. It definitely would. No doubt. What other home game I'm going to other than Texas? I want to try to go to at least one more. So
Minnesota might be a good one.
I invited those guys if they come to come hang out with us, the Sky U Pod guys.
Yeah.
All right. So tomorrow, Maryland is the video that'll be dropping in the evening. Our Maryland preview drops tomorrow. Purdue is on deck, and then Illinois is in the hole. Those are the next three preview videos we have coming on, getting ready. Make sure you're subscribed to the College Huddle. Just did an awesome interview with the podcast, The Doghouse for Georgia. I think you guys are going to be very interested in that one. He does take some shots at me, which were funny. Yeah, but make sure you guys are subscribed over the College Huddle. Things are growing over there. Just had a BYU video that hit well over 2,000 views. So things are going well over there. So, Chris, anything else, man?
I was just wondering, when you did that Georgia video, did you happen to ask him, did Kirby send the guy in there to injure Marv, or did he do that on his own?
No, I avoided it.
Just curious.
I did ask him about all their arrests, though.
Yeah.
I did ask
him. A team that has more arrests than victories over the last 2 seasons?
Yep. Yeah.
That's frightening.
So, Anyways, have a good night, everybody. Remember, be kind to one another. I owe someone's OH and Carmen, Ohio with all your heart. Till next time, you all know what to do. Oh, by the way, don't forget Sunday night live show, 8 o'clock Eastern. You all know what to do. OH.
I hope.
Go Bucks.